playing with nobody. You step in that ring with him, be prepared.
Oh, my God. All day. There you go. That's it. That's it.
Just relax. There you go. Just relax.
Round.
Fighters, his experience, his toughness, his cardio, he has a lot of heart, and he knows that I'm coming to win, and they're saying that this is the hardest he's ever been training.
Peeling back in terms of some of that discipline. But, you know, training camp happens, you know, if he's locked in and he's looking to make a show and try and knock this guy out, I wouldn't be surprised either. Does he have the gas? Yeah. Even though he's dealing with a bigger guy, you know, it's still, he's been 10, 12 rounds in real fights. Jake hasn't. Jake has shown that he's got tired out in fights.
Jake Paul's confidence is on full display as he gears up for his fight with Gervonta Davis. Known for his bold statements and fearless attitude, Jake isn't holding back this time either. His arrival near Tank's camp stirs tension as both fighters push their limits in preparation. With Tank seen sharpening his power and speed in training, the stage is set for an explosive showdown.
And that's what I'm looking at. So right now, I just want to see what he brings to us. We just got off a plane. You know, a lot of work yesterday from the interviews and stuff, so I want to see how he react. 2 sparring partners, and rounds is unknown.
All right, y'all. Let's go. Bang!
When they watch us in here working, they saying we going bang, 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 bang.
There you go. Good. There you go.
When he get in that ring, he's on a mission. Because he understand that he got to put his pants on, training wheels going. You got what you asked for. Let's get it now.
Jake Paul is training harder than ever, pushing his limits with intense focus and discipline. He claims this camp is different, promising to reveal a skill set no one has witnessed before. With sharp combinations and improved movement, Jake believes he's ready to shock the world against Gervonta Davis.
Boxing Classic, pick him apart, and people are going to be able to see the skill set that I've been working on in the gym that I haven't been able to showcase in recent fights yet.
For Gervonta Davis, this fight means more than just another payday or exhibition. It's a matter of pride. Facing Jake Paul, a YouTuber-turned-boxer who has built a reputation on shocking wins, Tank views this challenge as a test of his legacy. The undefeated world champion has dedicated himself to an exhausting training camp, pushing beyond his limits to ensure no room for error. His intensity shows that this fight is personal. Boxing analyst Paulie Malignaggi stated that while Jake's fights are not staged, they often favor him strategically. According to Malignaggi, Paul's team carefully controls matchups to maximize advantage. But this time, he faces a man who thrives under real pressure and pure competition. Tank knows that one mistake could become viral history, and that alone fuels his hunger to prove he remains one of the most dangerous fighters alive.
Knockouts, dude. Knockouts. People like knockouts. They don't care if you're knocking out cab drivers. Look at Jake Paul's career.
You can manufacture that, though. You can manufacture that, though. You can manufacture knockouts.
You can't manufacture.
To a
Gervonta
degree,
Davis.
you can. To a degree. I mean, you can't. Yeah, Gervonta legitimately cannot get knockouts. I agree. He can punch, but there's a lot of limited knockout artists, though, man.
He's one of the least active punchers in the game with the highest knockout percentage of current heavyweight.
But if he was a real knockout artist,
champions.
If he was a real knockout artist, prop him up against the best of the best. Felix Trinidad was a knockout artist. He was knocking out the best of the best. If you're a real knockout artist, prop him up against the best and show us how he smokes them. But the way Wayne did when Felix Trinidad was doing it. You know, the way they did when Mike Tyson was doing it in his prime. Okay, say what you want about the Mike Tyson era. He knocked out everyone from 1986 to 1989. Everyone got knocked out. Everyone.
Well, by your standard, you could say that Tyson was to a degree manufactured.
No,
and
because
Teddy
he fought everyone that was there. Everyone that was there at that time fought.
Teddy Atlas will 100% agree with this
with the expense of
Witherspoon. That were afraid of him.
With the exception of Witherspoon. No, but they all doesn't matter. He knocked them all out. There was nobody you could say in that era except maybe Witherspoon, who had contract issues with King at the time. Except for Witherspoon, there is nobody Tyson didn't fight in that era. He knocked them all out. You can't say like, oh, but if he would have fought that guy, I don't know. No, with Davis, there's guys right now that have been hanging around for years. Yo, dude, when you gonna fight them? The lightweight division was stacked with talent. Even at 130, it had a lot of talent when he was there. Didn't fight almost any of them. So it's not the same thing as the Tyson era. You want to say anything about Tyson era? Fine. It wasn't as high level or something. He still knocked out everyone.
Teofimo Lopez, another elite boxer, offered an interesting perspective by saying this fight should be treated more as entertainment than a legitimate sporting contest. In his view, the weight disparity and celebrity factor make it more of a spectacle designed to draw attention, rather than impact rankings or boxing's official records. He noted that the bout resembles modern-day entertainment boxing, where the primary goal is to attract viewers rather than to compete. While some fans agree, others argue that Gervonta's pride makes it impossible for him to treat the event lightly. Lopez's remark highlights how boxing has evolved in recent years, where fighters like Jake Paul blur the line between show business and the fight game, drawing millions of new viewers even if purists remain skeptical.
Great fight, great matchup. It's fun for the sport of boxing. It makes it fun, it makes it entertaining. That's what it's all about. You know, and may the best man win. It's an exhibition regardless, it doesn't count.
Doesn't count? Yeah. We need to see you and Tank though. Has to happen.
What happened?
It has to happen, you and Tank.
We'll see, man. It's up to the champ. He's the champ, right? He's fighting. He's a celebrity champ. Ooh.
One of Jake Paul's former sparring partners recently voiced a serious warning. He claimed that Jake has never faced the kind of destructive power that Tank Davis brings into the ring. The fighter noted that while Jake's confidence comes from knocking out MMA competitors, none of them possess Tank's elite-level speed, timing, or punching precision. He emphasized that Gervonta's power isn't just about brute strength, it's how explosively and accurately he delivers his shots. Jake might walk into the ring believing his size gives him an advantage, but the reality of taking even one clean punch from Tank could quickly change that belief. The sparring partner's words capture what many professionals already suspect. Jake is entering dangerous territory against a natural knockout artist who thrives under pressure.
3 weeks away.
I think honestly, man, like every single time, you know, people said that Jake would get finished or he would lose a fight, he obviously proved everybody wrong. But I genuinely believe this time, I think that, you know, with Gervonta's boxing IQ and him having Jake come down a little bit in weight, I think Gervonta will beat him, honestly. I think Gervonta will hurt him. I think he'll just use IQ. He'll tire him out a little bit. And, you know, I think he'll land. You know, Gervonta knows how to touch his opponents. But it's interesting because when Floyd fought Logan, the size really made a big, you know, impact. And you saw Floyd struggle, you know, against a big, you know, Ohio corn-fed, you know, wrestling strong dude. And, you know, I've sparred Jake and Logan before, and, you know, they train hard.
You're picking Tank by knockout?
Look, I sparred them years ago. They're much better than when I sparred them. They're athletes. You know, they train really hard. I think they work harder than all these pros, to be honest.
Former champion Tim Bradley highlighted the intense personal and professional burdens Gervonta faces outside the spotlight. He reminded fans that fighters are human beings who carry emotional and physical exhaustion from years of constant scrutiny. Bradley expressed sympathy for Tank, saying the endless criticism from media and social platforms creates mental fatigue that can affect focus and performance. Despite these pressures, Tank remains resilient, channeling those struggles into motivation for his training. Bradley believes that if Tank can manage his emotional state and stay disciplined, his natural talent will overwhelm Jake Paul's inexperience. The message from Bradley was clear. While Jake may enjoy media freedom and fan popularity, Tank shoulders the weight of expectations from an entire sport.
Up on Tank, you know what I mean? I was misinformed. You know, you got to know what somebody's going through, man, or have gone through, and where they've ended up. Now, you have to understand that. You got to understand their DNA, you know. And we as fans, we fail to realize that. We as commentators and fanboys and all that, like we all don't do that. We don't do our research. You know, you got to know about somebody's history. So like, if you understand where Tank came from, if you understand his background, then you understand how he thinks and why he feels the way he feels. You know, you do. So I mean, for instance, like his parents, right? His parents were drug addicts, in and out of the system, in and out of jail. You know, he lived with his grandmother. You know, like, you gotta understand when he started boxing, why he started boxing. Understand that, you know, that what the influence that Calvin has had on his life. and how if their relationship isn't great, how that affects him. And if this is not making any excuses, people, this isn't. I'm not making no excuses. I'm just giving you what I think, and I'm giving you the facts surrounding all of this. You know, I remember back in 2012, you know, I'm living right. I'm living civil. I'm taking care of my business. I feel like I'm doing everything right. You know, I'm living right. I'm saying all the right things. You know, I want people to love me. You know,
The promotional buildup for this fight has been enormous, with interviews, social media teasers, and training footage flooding the internet. Yet surprisingly, reports indicate ticket sales have been slower than expected. Despite the buzz and widespread attention, audiences seem hesitant to pay premium prices. Some critics argue that fans may see the event as more of a show than a legitimate clash, which could explain the hesitation. Still, the marketing team continues to push aggressively, using both Jake's star power and Gervonta's reputation to keep the fight in headlines. The mixed response reflects modern boxing's paradox. Massive online interest doesn't always translate into sold-out arenas. Nonetheless, both camps are relying on pay-per-view numbers and global streaming audiences to carry the financial success of the event.
The promo is fire. And when his fight first got announced, I told y'all, the promo, when they start promoting it, it is going to be fire. The promo will be better than the fight, right? Because obviously, I don't like the fight. I'm not a fan of the fight. I cannot stand the decision for Tank to go in this direction, although I understand it, right? I understand it because I understand the business behind it. So I get all of that. But the promo is fire. If you go watch it, the way that is shot, the production of it looks very, very top of the line, top shelf, as you would expect from a company as big as Netflix, which is a $530 billion company. So they have the budget, they have the money to make sure their production is A1. Obviously, as a Tank Davis fan, paying attention to him in the promo, the young man looks in good spirits. He looks like he's in a good headspace, and he doesn't look like he's unhappy to be there, which bodes well for the prospects of him continuing his boxing career, I guess, not retiring. And I think that as he gets closer to the fight, as the fight happens, he'll be in his happy place. And I expect for Tank fans, for boxing fans, to get really good news after Tank Davis and Jake Paul share the ring and they do the post-fight press conference. I think that a lot of people will probably be happy with the outcome of what Tank Davis has to say after that fight. But the promo is fire. It's just a trailer. It's up on the Netflix YouTube channel. Go check it out if you haven't already. Really enjoyed watching that promo. Watched it a couple of times. And as I said, I'm paying attention to the press conferences. I'm paying attention to the build-up because I feel like there's a chance that could be more.
Analysts have repeatedly pointed out Jake Paul's knack for selecting opponents who offer both name recognition and manageable risk. His decision to face Tank Davis fits this pattern perfectly. It ensures publicity and intrigue while allowing him to claim he's challenging a real champion. During the face-off, however, observers noted the striking size difference between them. Jake appeared much larger, while Tank, shorter and compact, exuded silent confidence. Commentators described the moment as visually surprising, even awkward, because it highlighted how small Tank seemed next to Jake's frame. But for those who follow boxing closely, size doesn't necessarily equal power. Many fans interpreted Tank's calm expression as a warning. His history proves he can deliver damage far beyond his weight class.
Why are you not fighting guys your own fucking size? Look at this, John. This is embarrassing. And not to mention, Georgia already said, no, you can't have this fight here. So they moved it somewhere else. Dave, do you know where they moved the fight? Can you look it up? Yeah. This is embarrassing. Look, he actually put his hands on his knees and he was still the same height, maybe a little bit taller than Gervonta Davis. I mean, I'm all in on Gervonta. I want Gervonta to win this fight. I want him to hit. I mean, I'm not saying he can knock him out, but I think if he hits him to the body a couple times, John, he may be able to catch him. A lazy jab or something, you know, he might be able to pop him to the body and get him good. I'm hoping. Jake Paul down with a body shot.
Oh man.
Oh geez.
Could you imagine?
I would it'd be great.
It's a win right there.
It'd be fucking great.
Miami.
Oh, they moved to Florida. Makes sense. You know, the only place that opened up during COVID makes sense. I mean, what's your thoughts on this fight? I know it's an exhibition. I believe it's 10 rounds.
Look at Gervonta Davis is a hell of a fighter, but he's, you know, and I think that the one thing that Jake Paul is really going to have to try to figure out in this fight is, how do I catch this little son of a bitch? Because he's fast, and you know, Gervonta, I would, you know, I'm not telling Gervonta Davis to, you know, cut down in weight like he normally does. Just get in shape. Whatever you weigh, you weigh. Don't try to add weight. There's not enough time for you to add good weight that's not going to make you tighter and anything like that. So just come in at your normal, walk around, good weight. You've been training hard. Whatever it is, it is.
Boxer Bruce Carrington shared an insightful take, emphasizing that matches like Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis breathe fresh life into boxing. According to Carrington, these crossover fights draw young fans, social media audiences, and even those who don't normally watch the sport. He admitted that while purists may dislike the entertainment angle, these events create valuable exposure. Carrington compared it to how boxing evolved in past decades, where showmanship was as crucial as skill in building stars. He believes the presence of celebrity fighters encourages mainstream coverage, sponsorships, and renewed global interest. In this sense, Jake Paul's entry isn't destroying boxing, it's modernizing it for a new generation that consumes sports through highlights, memes, and viral clips.
It's entertainment, right? But this what this is sports entertainment. This is what's gonna put butts in the seat, believe it or not. This is what's gonna, you know, bring a lot of money to the sport. Especially, you know, we have like, you know, people trying to say boxing is dead, boxing is dying. But, you know, we have a whole demographic of people that don't even watch boxing, interested in boxing. So I like to look at it that way. Like we're making these fantasy dream matchups come to life with Floyd and Tyson, you know. And to be honest, I'm a little biased because Floyd, he is my favorite fighter of all time. And Tyson, he is a guy that basically like made me fall in love with boxing. And he's like the icon, the myth, the legend for me. So it was like them two fighting. It's like, yo, that's crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like and then on top of that, it's an exhibition, bro. It's not something to be taken serious. It's something that is for the people to just enjoy and watch. It's an exhibition. It's not like they're making it a sanctioned fight. Now, Jake and Tank, are they making that a sanctioned fight? I think they are.
They're trying to. It's a lot of moving parts right now with that one.
Yeah, so I think that's where certain things become an issue, because now you're putting it into a serious space. You know what I'm saying? Which it shouldn't be. It's honestly, if it's sanctioned, how the heck they gonna I don't know, bro. I don't know how the heck they're going to really pull that off.
Former world champion Carl Froch expressed concern about the physical mismatch between the two fighters. He argued that the size and power differences could create unsafe conditions if not carefully monitored. Froch's perspective comes from experience. He knows how dangerous it can be when fighters from different divisions meet in a ring, especially when one possesses elite knockout power. His cautionary remarks underline a larger issue in boxing today. The trend of mismatched celebrity fights can risk injury if governed purely by marketing. Froch's concern doesn't stem from doubt in either fighter's skill, but from the sport's responsibility to maintain fairness and safety standards, even in exhibitions.
I mean, I don't really take Jake Paul that serious. He can't really box. He can have a little fight, he can have a swing. He swings away, stands up straight, and he throws punches, but it's not professional boxing. Because when I watch him box, he's just so much wrong. It's just, everything's wrong. It's so bad. He's got leaky defense. He telegraphs his punches. Like, you put him in with someone his own size, it was a professional, and it's a mismatch. And you'll see that if he ends up fighting somebody. Tommy Fury, bless him, he's a pro boxer, but he's inexperienced. He's got no amateur pedigree. He's a raw novice, or maybe just above the raw novice. I was saying earlier, where would I put him in terms of levels? He'd do well to win a British title. He's at that sort of level. And then from British title to world level, it's like different worlds. It's like totally different. It's like a different sport.
Hermel Moten, a rising talent closely associated with Gervonta's camp, confidently stated that Tank will dominate the bout. He explained that Davis frequently spars against much larger opponents, even heavyweights, which makes Jake's size advantage irrelevant. Moten emphasized that Tank's boxing intelligence is unmatched. He knows how to close distance, time punches, and exploit openings better than almost anyone. Jake's size may look intimidating, but intelligence and precision often defeat brute strength. Moten's comments also revealed the level of belief within Tank's inner circle. They see this as another opportunity for their champion to silence critics and showcase why he remains one of the sport's most efficient finishers.
Tank versus Jake Paul.
I feel like it's gonna be a good fight, you know, entertaining. It's an exhibition, so we're gonna see how serious they really take it. But I don't know, they both getting a lot of money, so, you know, congrats to them.
What if you had it, like, who has the edge in this fight?
I feel like Tank has the edge for sure. You know, he's a real fighter, you know, and got skills, high IQ fighter. Regardless of the weight, you know, I've personally seen Tank, you know, spar heavyweights, you know, and even me, I spar heavyweights, you know. So the weight's not really too much, you know, for a lot of great fighters, you know, so I feel like Tank gonna get it for sure.
Do you think he kind of be like an advantage because he's like small and like fast? Like someone said that, I'm like, I didn't think about that actually.
Yeah, possibly. You know, he gonna see a lot of Jake Paul's punches coming. You know, he can be able to evade them and then set him up for a big counter.
Wait, but do you think this is gonna be different than the other Jake Paul fights we've seen, like against Mike Tyson and Julio Cesar Chavez? I know a lot of people weren't the happiest with that, but I feel like Tank's gonna give him like a different fight. Do you think so?
I think so. We'll see how he adapts to, because a lot of people think it's hard, you know, for a small guy to be fighting a bigger guy, but it's also hard for a big guy to be fighting a smaller guy. It's a small target, you know, they're very fast, so we'll have to see.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.